What's up, everybody? This is your boy Chainsaw. Listen, we have got a ton to cover. Sorry for the late show here. Not too late though, I hope. Had to run out, run down to the store, pick up some things and a bag of chicken wings. But let's just jump right into it. We've got a ton of stuff to cover today. Missouri candidates and organizers have had quite enough about Agape, and to be quite honest, I am kind of also sick and tired of discussing it. It would be nice to have a final conclusion that would help those kids, but Missouri's all about hurry up and wait, I guess. Democratic congressional candidate Randy McCallion's new campaign ad and how that intersects with her incumbent and the BS that he's been up to, right? We're going to discuss that and showcase the ad. We've asked the question here, will Ron DeSantis go to jail for essentially human trafficking? One San Antonio sheriff has an answer for us, so we'll be taking a look at that. We've got a video of a white bus driver who was fired after shoving children. Black children, rather. Yeah, we've got the video. It's pretty screwed up deal down there in Morgan County, Georgia, but I don't want to ruin that with spoilers here. We got St. Pete's report on Mike Parsons' special session in Congress, and Crystal Quaid and what she has planned with regard to some special legislation of her own. And I'm going to weigh in a little bit on both of those stories with my own interjection. And lastly, WTF is MAGA communism, and why is it trending on Twitter, and is it something that you should give a shit about? We are definitely going to be discussing this and potentially a little bit more on today's episode of Cash, Coffee, and Chaos. So thanks for joining us. Now, first, I want to jump into this. Missouri State Senate candidate for Senate District 16, Tara Anura, had brought this to my attention through her Twitter post regarding a follow-up, I guess you could say, to the story in Agape preceding my follow-up, also posted by, I believe this was a St. Louis Post Dispatch here. So let's take a look at her response. Shit. She tweeted out, Missouri Children's Division employees are on site or watching Protecting the Boys and collecting relevant testimony. Included the link, of course, which we're going to take a look at that article from St. Louis Post Dispatch. Second frame. Current student testimony is part of the amended petition. In court last week, Judge David Munton refused to let a former student testify because the teen left the school in July 2021. Munton said he needed to hear evidence of current abuse, not incidents from the past. Okay, because statute of limitations, I guess, has relevance to cases up to and including last week. Third frame. There are employees who claim they didn't know what was happening. However, and well, from the paper here, the sheer number of staff whose conduct toward residents has directly raised immediate concerns regarding the health and safety of the children at Agape, the proposed petition said. And we're going to take a look at the article here. But right quick, I did want to mention, and I did want to say thank you to Tara Anura for bringing this to my attention, because I might have missed it in the scheme of things, or I might have caught it a few days late. So this gives me the opportunity to offer this breaking news to you, for folks, for normies who don't spend every morning and part of their afternoons reading local newspapers. So thank you to Tara Anura, which you're actually going to get a chance coming up this Saturday, September 24th from 12 p.m. to 2 p.m. at the Piney River Brewing Company in Bucyrus, Missouri. You can Google directions yourself. They're actually holding an event there. Meet your candidates. It's going to be featuring Randy McCallion from just running for U.S. Congress, Missouri District 8. Bernadette Holzer is going to be there. She's running for Missouri State House District 143, and then of course Tara Anura, who is running for Missouri State Senate, Senate District 16. You're going to get a chance to meet all three of these wonderful ladies, Andy Boy Chainsaw is going to stop in real quick, for a quick cup of coffee or whatever it is that they're serving at a brewery, right? I'm not really sure. But whatever they got on the menu, I'm going to have a little bit of it while we're down there. So, it'd be a good chance to meet and greet. And of course, you get to, have your voices heard up close and personal, yada, yada. It should be fantastic. I'm super stoked about it. But that's what's up. But let's take a look at this article from the St. Louis Post-Dispatch. Missouri AG says new abuse allegations at Agape school are immediate safety concern. And this was posted, it says 23 hours ago, but I pulled this up a little bit ago, so take it with a grain of salt, right? Kansas City, Missouri. Current students at Agape boarding school told Missouri child welfare workers in recent days about extensive ongoing abuse that boys are enduring, according to a proposed petition, including in a court motion filed Monday. One boy, according to students who spoke with Missouri lots of it. One boy, according to students who spoke with Missouri Children's Division employees, was handcuffed for 2 weeks. Another ended up with his arm in a sling. And students said from an overzealous restraint. Yet another lost so much weight after being demoted to Browntown. Creative fucking names, aren't they? A designation given to the lowest level at Agape, where manual labor is required and meals are reduced. That he reportedly resorted to stealing food to keep from starving. Children, mind you. Those revelations were attached to a motion filed Monday by the Missouri Attorney General in an effort to provide the court with additional information in a quest to shut down the Cedar County School near Stockton. Much of the information in the proposed amended petition comes from interviews with nearly a dozen current students who approached Children's Division employees while they were at the school. As soon as, to quote here, as soon as the office received new evidence that further proves that there is an immediate health or safety concern for students at Agape boarding school, we filed a motion for leave to file a second amended petition that details the new evidence, said Chris Newell, spokesman for the AG's office. Our fight is to protect the students at Agape boarding school, or our fight to protect the students at Agape continues on, rather. Okay. According to a Missouri Supreme Court rule, the AG's office and the Department of Social Services were required to file the motion with the court in order to get permission to attend their petition a second time, or to amend their petition a second time. Boy, the coffee's really running right through me today, folks. Many men who attended the school in their youth and have spoken with the Star over the past 2 years said they were subjected to physical restraints, extreme workouts, long days of manual labor, food and water withheld as punishment. And they said students endured constant berating and mind games, and some were physically and sexually abused by staff and other youth. In court last week, Judge David Mouton refused to let a former student testify because the teen left school in July 2021. Mouton said he needed to hear evidence of current abuse, not incidents from the past. Y'all remember how I told you about that story that, about the guy who had the allegations, and then from 4 years ago, and that. These folks have actual testimony from actual adults and actual witnesses, employees and the like. You tell me how this makes any sort of sense. We'll get to that in a second. According to the proposed amended petition, these new developments are sadly consistent with the dark pattern of behavior. Whoa, what happened there? There we go. With the dark pattern of behavior at Agape previously exposed by the AG's office and DSS. The new information describes numerous examples of child abuse reported to Children's Division employees who have been placed at the school over the past 10 days to ensure students' safety. Among the examples that students who were identified in the proposed petition by their initials reported to child welfare workers. Multiple boys were placed in handcuffs with hands behind their backs for some days, and others longer. Students said one boy's hands were blue and bloodied when the cuffs were removed after 100 hours. Another student who refused to do jumping jacks was punched in the stomach by a staffer while other staff members held him. Then was placed in handcuffs for about 2 weeks, employees were told. He was forced to sleep in handcuffs. They were only removed so he could go to the bathroom. I'm surprised they let him do that with all the other things they had going on there. A current staffer picked up a student, slammed him through a door that was magnetically locked, then restrained the student on the ground for about 40 minutes, according to independent accounts by 5 students. By all accounts, the document said the student was hurt from the incident. Obviously. Another current staffer restrained several students to the point of causing large bruising, loss of feeling in the arms, legs, fingers, and severe swelling. One student was diagnosed with ulnar nerve neuropathy, which is consistent with physical abuse, the filing said. Another resident was running his discipline, and when he couldn't keep going, a current staff member threw him against the wall and applied pressure to his shoulder, then lifted him up in the air, slammed him to the ground. The staffer then landed on the student's shoulder and pressed his elbow into it. Days later, the student received medical care, and the shoulder injury required his arm to be in a sling for 3 months. Now, keep in mind, folks, what kind of a school is this again? Yeah, it's a boarding school. What kind of a boarding school again? Yeah. They're literally showing up, getting paid, doing this in the name of Jesus Christ, the Lord and Savior. Just in case it doesn't hit fucking home for you yet. The sheer number of staff whose conduct toward residents has directly raised immediate concerns regarding the health and safety of the children at Agape may constitute child abuse or neglect, including, stop that, physical and emotional abuse is remarkable, the proposed petition said. Some of the most egregious examples of alleged abuse were attributed to current staff member 5, who the filing said directs the facility, is intimately familiar with its structure and operation, participates in the management, and was fully aware of and condoned, if not promoted, Browntown. That staffer grabbed one student's hair, slammed his head on the tile floor multiple times as the student was restrained by other staff members. Current staff member 5 then put his knee on the boy's head and into his arms. The proposed petition said the boy's ear swelled 2 to 3 times his normal size, pus oozed from the back of his ear. He also suffered heavy bruising to his arms, loss of feeling, numbness in his fingers, and right hand for weeks afterwards. Current students repeatedly expressed fear to Children's Division employees of retaliating for speaking with Children's Division workers, including fear of being demoted to Browntown and not being able to contact their parents. One student, according to new information, wrote reminder notes for his meeting with the Children's Division workers, but was so fearful of retaliation that he hid his notes in his shoe in case he was searched by Agape staffers. Write that shit down is very important. Destroying documents is very important for the other side. Oh my God. I'll take a second on that one. The motion also said that Agape has continued to employ staff members who've exhibited conduct toward residents that may rise to the level of child abuse or neglect. Absent relief from this court, once DSS staff are no longer in the facility, the conduct previously exhibited by current staff at Agape directly raises immediate concerns, and there exists an immediate concern for the health and safety of the children at Agape. The new information provided to investigators continued to describe a pattern of conduct occurring at Agape that raises immediate concerns for the health and safety of children at Agape and may rise to the level of child abuse and neglect, the proposed petition said. But for DSS employees currently present 24 hours a day at the facility, the Attorney General and DSS believe that this conduct would be occurring now, and that the conduct will return as soon as DSS employees are no longer in the facility to ensure safety. Wonder what makes them think that. The motion filed Monday said the Children's Division workers had been at Agape since September 8th. During the past week, numerous current Agape students have proactively approached the Children's Division workers, often surreptitiously, and requested to speak with them. The motion for leave said DSS staff took appropriate action for the students to be interviewed. In these interviews, the students reported physical abuse by current Agape employees at times before Children's Division workers were present. The motion said current students also have thanked Children's Division workers for their presence at Agape because the Agape's employees have not physically or verbally abused the students while the workers have been present. You know, I guess we got to give credit to the judge in this case. You know, ask and you shall receive, you fucking scumbag. According to the motion, DSS has reviewed each name that Agape provided on a September 8th employee roster and found that multiple employees on the list have not completed background checks as required by a new state law. Failure to do so, the filing said, is grounds to cease the operation of Agape and provide the appropriate removal of the children there. We shall see. DSS also learned that the school employs others whose names are not provided on the September 8th roster, the motion said. Without knowing all employees who have been omitted from the September 8th, 2022 roster, it's unknown how many employees have failed to comply with the background checks and who may present immediate health and safety concerns due to their proximity to children. Meh. Imagine that if you would. On September 7th, the AG's office and DSS filed a petition in Cedar County Circuit Court asking for an injunction to immediately close Agape and remove students, citing concerns about their safety. The petition stated that on that day, DSS had added a current Agape staff member to the state's central registry after the agency found by a preponderance of evidence that the staffer had committed child abuse at Agape. Moten signed the order that night to immediately close the school and remove students, but by the next morning, he put that on hold and sent Cedar County Sheriff James Jim Bob McCrary. Wait, wasn't it Cedar County, the sheriff's department, where they were hiring folks from in their off hours and they were actually going out there and kidnapping kids in, I don't know, California, in that other case that we fucking read on this fucking program from one of these other local papers? I think that was a Kansas City Star that mentioned that. Didn't they come from that same ass sheriff's department that this judge is? Oh my God, stop it. This is why I've been reaching out to other folks in the indie media, because somebody somewhere has got to fucking like look at this stuff for what it is, folks. Because I'm not good enough, and neither are you. It's going to require more hands on this than we have available in the state of Missouri, because they don't give a shit. I want to save those points toward the end of this segment, though. So just keep that in mind if you ain't figured it out yet. Jesus Christ, I lost my fucking spot at Jim Bob. To determine whether a staff member was still working there. A new Missouri law prohibits someone from working at a residential care facility if the person has a substantiated finding of child abuse or neglect or is placed on the central registry. Agape director Brian Clemenson told McCrary that the staffer had been fired the previous day, but still lived on the property. Whatever that means. Moten scheduled a hearing for last Monday and ordered the DSS workers could be on the campus around the clock to make sure students were safe. DSS officials confirmed earlier this month that its investigators have substantiated 11 findings that related to the school and additional 3 Agape employees, including Clemenson and medical coordinator Scott Dumar, who had reports substantiated against them. The Star has learned, but they've appealed those findings, and state law allows them to work at the school during appeals process. Dumar is one of 5 staff members charged last year with physical abuse of students. Yeah, so call somebody, send a fucking email. Yes, this is, I think it's a unicorn, but I like to think of it as a, hey, what's that underwater unicorn called? Narwhal, there you go. And yes, we got it on discount at the Dallas store, don't judge. But yeah, call somebody, send your emails. Send emails to corporate media if you want to. You really think the CNN's gonna, go through and process this stuff. But look, if you watch, any sort of podcast or some, I don't know that Joe Rogan's going to cover this story, but he might. But if you're reaching out to local folks who have, news, talk, political commentary, they're going to want to cover this story. And if they don't, spam their fucking email, make their email inbox look like Attorney General Eric Schmitt's, Twitter feed when all this stuff came out. Because clearly these people do not give a fuck about you, and they do not give a fuck about these kids, and that's just going to continue. It's our responsibility to do every single thing that we possibly can to support these kids, to support these survivors. Otherwise, fuck them. They're gonna get what they get, and that's the only thing that we can expect. I mean, that's the harsh reality of this, folks. We've been seeing it go on for too long. There are a lot better people out there than me who have been spending a lot more attention and time on this story and these stories than I have. So, yeah, it is what it is. My God, reach out to somebody. Spam the fucking turfs. Spam Hassan. His moderators, they're... It's another story. Anyway, not talk shit. I'm staying out of that a whole mess there. I've reached out to who I think that I am able to make things happen, but getting word out there is the most important. I mean, you could call Eric Schmitt, but what's he gonna do? Well, if you don't know, let me tell you. So Eric Schmitt, in light of this findings and still wanting to be able to use his Twitter account, had posted this tweet. When was this from? This was from, well, I guess this was from yesterday, right? Update. As soon as the office, that's a capital O for office. So, I guess it's like the TV show. As soon as the office received new evidence that further proves that there is an immediate health and safety concern for students at Agape boarding school. He's still on that, well, shit that happened last year, it's none of our fucking business, even though I'm still suing schools for shit that they were doing a couple years ago with the whole masking thing, right? You fucking dickless fuck. I'm only sorry to my audience. Blah, blah, blah. As soon as we found out, we thought we was going to do something. We filed a motion for leave to file a second amended petition that details that new evidence. And then, of course, he includes that motion and that new evidence, or at least part thereof, right? Great. Good for him. Well, trusted friend Elad Gross has the response. And I love it. This is going to be a thread, so bear with me here. I think it's a short one, though. Missouri Attorney General Eric Schmitt is pretending that he only now discovered that Agape boarding school is torturing kids and that he's done everything he can to help them. That is not at all true. He's lying to you because he got caught not doing his job. Again. Fucking love Elad Gross. If you're not already following this guy on Twitter, I don't know what you're doing. Honestly, I don't know if he has a YouTube channel, but if he does, I'm gonna check that out. I'm just saying. So then, of course, retweets the response here. And then per the thread, Eric Schmitt knew about Agape a long time ago. He was assigned to help prosecute the abusers in 2021. When the local prosecutor protected his abusive buddies, Eric Schmitt didn't try to remove the prosecutor. He fought for kids by asking to be removed from the case. Let's see if we can take a look at that. Can we see that from here? We can't see that from here. I can't zoom in on shit like this, so you're gonna... If you're not following Elad Gross already, I don't know. Just figure it out. And I've seen closer clips of this, so let me try this out here for you folks. On March 18th, 2021, Cedar County and this is let's see, Attorney General Office Eric Schmitt to Governor Mike Parson, responding to Agape boarding school investigation prosecution on March 18, 2021. March 18th, 2021. March 18th. Okay, not fucking August, not July, not June, March 18, 2021. Cedar County Prosecuting Attorney Ty Gaither sent a letter to you requesting the assistance of the Attorney General's office in the investigation and any subsequent prosecution involving the Agape boarding school at the time. It appeared that the case would require substantial expertise and resources beyond those that were available to Mr. Gaither. Mr. Gaither stated, as a single prosecutor office, I cannot devote the hundreds of hours necessary to review, prepare, and prosecute a case involving multiple victims, witnesses, and defendants. That was said in March of 2021. There was still abuse happening after that. They still were able to have witness testimony of abuse happening after that. And of course, this is the stuff the judge was like, well, that shit happened a long time ago. We can't do nothing about it. The fuck out of here, guy. March 22nd, 2021, you directed the Attorney General's office to assist in the investigation and prosecution of possible charges arising from incidents at the Agape boarding school. You ready for this? Pursuant to that directive, the AG's office devoted a team of prosecutors, investigators, victim advocates who spent hundreds of hours necessary to review, prepare, and prosecute the alleged offenses at Agape boarding school. After a months-long review of Missouri State Highway Patrol investigation, the Attorney General's office identified 65 criminal counts against 22 co-defendants and prepared a criminal complaint and probable cause statement. Those charges involved 36 victims included multiple counts of abuse of a child as a Class B felony. What's the statute of limitations on that? Abuse of a child, Class D felony. Endangering the welfare of a child, Class A misdemeanor. Failure to report child abuse, Class A misdemeanor. Tampering with victim, Class D felony. Assault in the 4th degree, Class A misdemeanor. On August 16th, 2021, the Attorney General's office sent a letter to Mr. Gaither outlining the various criminal charges along with the criminal complaint and probable cause statement. On August 30th, 2021, during a meeting with the Missouri State Highway Patrol Children's Division and the Attorney General's office, Mr. Gaither announced that he's only willing to file charges against 7 of the 22 defendants, and that the only charge he would issue is assault in the 3rd degree, Class C felony. September 1st, 2021, pursuant to the Attorney General's duties as appointed special prosecutor, the Attorney General's office submitted a motion to the Cedar County Circuit Court requesting what the fuck does that say? Oh, there we go. Requesting to impanel a special grand jury to hear evidence regarding the abuse of these 36 children at the hands of 22 identified suspects, and to sign any resulting indictments. On September 13, 2021, Mr. Gaither wrote a letter to Judge Munton, a circuit judge for Cedar County, stating in pertinent part, all matters in this investigation will require my signature and must come from my office. For your information, we are preparing what we consider to be proper charges in this matter and expect an associate filing around September 22nd, 2021. The highest charge level will be assault in the 3rd degree. Mr. Gaither further stated that he expects to have the continued assistance of the Office of Attorney General with coordination and transport of witnesses. On September 17th, 2021, Judge Munton's clerk sent an email to the Attorney General's office stating that request to impanel grand jury was denied. In light of the foregoing, the Attorney General respectfully requests to be relieved of the appointment as special prosecutor for Cedar County in the Agape boarding school investigation and prosecution. Mr. Gaither's decision to pursue a relatively small number of minor felony offenses reveals that he has no real need of the expertise and resources of the Attorney General's office. More importantly, however, in deciding not to charge a number of other offenses, Mr. Gaither has expressly rejected the assistance and expertise of the Attorney General's office, and he's indicated that he does not intend to seek justice for all of the 36 children who were allegedly victimized by 22 members of the Agape boarding school staff. Please understand the AG's office stands ready to provide services to assist local prosecutors in the prosecution of crimes. However, inasmuch as Mr. Gaither has made plain that he does not desire the Attorney General's expertise in the matter, and inasmuch as he's made plain that he will not prosecute a number of serious offenses uncovered during this investigation, the Attorney General must seek to be removed as a special prosecutor in this impending criminal case. For these reasons, the Attorney General respectfully requests to be removed as a special prosecutor for Cedar County in the Agape boarding school matter. So, yeah, Cop Out had better shit to do suing schools over CRT. Yeah. Masks and whatnot. Oh, pressing fucking matters, right? The guy ran his whole campaign on this shit. Did nothing but sit around on his fat ass, potato head ass all day, tweeting about child trafficking while this was right under his nose. He actually could have done anything. I might have voted for this piece of shit. It's possible. Anything's possible. Shit. Monkeys might fly out of my butt. Anything's possible at this point. But the only thing that isn't possible is for Eric Schmitt to do his job. Clearly. So to continue, the legislature gave him a new law to regulate boarding schools like Agape. He already had an old law allowing him to regulate and prosecute corrupt nonprofits. Like maybe any of those sending money to Republican candidates this year? Let me know in the comments. Dark money, something, we'll keep map, something, maybe. I don't know. I'm just a guy. I don't even have a beard anymore, folks. What the fuck do I know? He had the power to sue to remove prosecutors, but he did nothing until this month. Literally, when when using Twitter became unbearable, he did nothing. I'll add to Mr. Gross's commentary here. I'm not going to read all of that. Revised statutes 407.095. Have fun. Agape survivors kept coming forward. Rape, forced hard labor, starvation, beatings, torture. They brought their own lawsuits. The Federal Department of Justice brought charges of child trafficking. Where was our Attorney General? And then, of course, the KC Star article that we'd covered previously on this show. So now, under public pressure, and because he wanted to use Twitter in peace, Attorney General Eric Schmitt finally does something, and we all learn what we already knew. Every day, Attorney General Eric Schmitt did nothing. More children were tortured. These schools came to Missouri because they knew people like Eric Schmitt would do nothing. One more time for you. These schools, because keep in mind, folks, they're doing it in the name of God. Specifically for the purpose of the promotion and betterment of humanity in the name of Jesus Christ, our Lord and Savior. That's why this place exists. The whole purpose, alleged, supposed purpose of the existence of this facility, and the reason the employees are supposed to be coming to work every single fucking day. These schools came to Missouri because they knew people like Eric Schmitt would do nothing. And now he wants us all to believe he did everything he could for those kids, the ones he couldn't be bothered to lift a finger for, until public pressure made him. Disgusting. 100% there. And I mean, what else can you say there, folks? I gotta hand it to Ozark Wine Club for also putting the pressure. You know, I don't know how this whole algorithm thing works, but so far I can't figure out if Ozark Wine Club actually made Eric Schmitt more popular on Twitter through the algorithm and the interactions, or less popular through people coming across the postings and the tweets that even I, some of which I wasn't aware of or didn't have in my library of bullshit clips regarding him and AAG Schmitt. So I posted a pretty fun meme about that the other day, and kudos to those folks also for keeping the hits up. Definitely appreciate that. But I mean, that just goes to show you what a little bit of what do they call it? I want to say this loud enough just so everybody in the Southwest, all of my detractors and critics can hear me here. What do they call that? Performative activism? Saving the day, at least, while the adults were able to come in and getting enough attention and grabbing enough attention and raising awareness. Because, like I said, your boy Chainsaw, covered this story, a part thereof, when I was shoving a fucking COVID test in my nose, or around the time that I was, literally dying from something completely fucking different. But, otherwise, I hadn't really paid a lot of attention to the story myself. So that's my bad. And I could just assume that there are plenty of other folks out there, good folks, better folks than me, Jesus Christ, who probably also would have missed this if not for the performative activists, spreading this word out there. Because, hey, it is what it is. But, it's no wonder with folks like Mike Parson and Attorney General Eric Schmitt, running the show, that, first of all, that we have so many women running for office in the state of Missouri this year. It's incredible. And why a lot of them are running on, the campaign messages that they are. With regard to corruption here in the States, corruption by, not just your local state officials, but also the Attorney General, the governor. I mean, the list goes on. And again, everybody's going to have that opportunity to meet at least 3 of these candidates coming up this weekend. Super stoked about that. Piney River Brewing Company in Bucyrus, Missouri is hosting the old meet and greet. your boy Chainsaw is going to be there briefly. It's, call it a book signing. Bring in some of your favorite literature, and I'll put my John Hancock on it for you. But no, it should be absolutely wonderful, and this will be your chance to pick folks' brains and see what they stand for and see where they're at on this issue and more. But again, thanks very much to Tara Anura, Missouri Senate candidate from Senate District 16, for bringing this portion of the story to my attention. And yeah, it's I have nothing else to say about this until something else breaks. My God, I feel like the dam is broken.